Hi everyone, this is Lauren with the Regulus Portal. This is a timeless, quick energy clearing and healing on blocks, agreements, old outdated agreements that have us tied into a master slave consciousness and the work matrix on this planet. So I'm going to go through and clear old programs that are way past their expiration date, that we are still running, that we no longer need to be running, that are keeping us in bondage to a lot of limiting beliefs about work and money. I will probably do some separate money clearings as well. But I thought, well, I'll throw some money into this whole clearing that I'm doing, and I have some coins to represent money and some tarot cards and all this stuff kind of representing the money and work matrix that we are all locked into. And most of us, can't speak for everyone, but a lot of us want more freedom as far as how we create money. And I think that's really what it comes down to is, money is creates freedom. The more money you have, the more freedom you have. And but we get locked into a lot of limiting belief systems, and there is a very strong slave mentality, work matrix mentality, uh, consciousness that is still very strong on this planet. Anyway, I could talk for a long time about that. However, let me just get right into the reading. My phone could overheat as well. I am filming this in a very hot location. So if it just shuts off and I'm good with where it shuts off, I will just post it, but be warned it could end abruptly. Anyway, let me look at what we have here as far as the work matrix goes. So what is coming in to my vision immediately are these metallic buildings. They are like a steel colored, silvery type of color, gray, silver, metallic buildings, and they are these structures in place, and they're very cold and sterile and unwelcoming. It's almost like factories. They have this factory feel, and I see us being processed through these factories on a soul spiritual level before we come to in between lifetimes. It's not everyone gets processed through this type of thing. It's some of us have bypassed it, but it is very much an operating system that's still in place on the planet. And some people are agreeing to it more than others. I see like a lot of the people that and beings that watch my videos have bypassed this, but it's still affecting us, even though we didn't get processed through these etheric control system processes, factory type of buildings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this energy. And there's some agreements left over as far as coming to this planet and agreeing to be a slave to the matrix, and a big part of this matrix system to get here on this planet. So I'm going to look at this agreement that most of us have made to some degree. Some of us have made this agreement to a large degree, and some of us have only partially agreed. And it basically is an agreement that says, okay, if I come to planet Earth, I'm going to agree to be to have to be a part of the system in order to survive, for my survival. And it's not necessary for survival on this planet. There are many people that find creative ways of making money, or finding ways of living their passion and being able to create the abundance they want. What's coming up as well is there's a lack of integrity for some of these people. People that, for instance, that win the lottery, end up, a lot of them, in really big trouble because they've manifested something beyond what their consciousness will allow at that time. They do have, I mean, I'm not saying it's would be impossible, but they haven't done the work they haven't done the work really to handle it. It comes with both, like the freedom and manifesting money. It doesn't have to be a lottery win. It doesn't have to be massive amounts of money, though it could be, or it could be manifesting enough where you're comfortable, in a way that you're still free of you still can be a free spirit and free to create. You're not a slave. It's outside the slavery matrix, the slavery consciousness. So what's happening, for instance, with lottery winners, or sometimes people that are able to break free of some of these rules, and manifest something, is they lack some of the information. They haven't cleared some things, and then they're missing pieces of information to operate. Because I think you could definitely, I'm using the lottery as an example, because it's a good example. um, yeah. So let me just go in and kind of clean up some of these old programs, because we're having a shift on this planet. So the energy is shifting on this planet, the reality is shifting on this planet, but we're still in the confines of old programs and agreements that are no longer valid. They're really not. They're old news, they're old energy, they're old paradigm. So what I'm doing is I'm clearing out this energy for the collective that wants to participate. We still have free will to be part of the old program if we want. Go in and I'm being attacked by wasps as I do this, so if I start flailing around, um, yeah, I'm being attacked by wasps, and before I did this, my tongue swelled up. I got this really mass. I don't know what it was. It was a bad. It was like my tongue got really sore, and my tongue swelled up, and I'm like, okay, something really doesn't want me talking about this, and so I had to clear that energy before I could do this video, and I was able to clear it. My tongue's okay now. But I was like talking like that, like I couldn't even talk really. It was so annoying. And I planned on doing all these videos today, but it's the energy. There's energy coming in to try to block this, to try to block these videos that I want to do. I want to do a whole series of these. Anyway, let me get back to clearing out this energy. Sorry for I keep kind of getting on to tangents here, but there's a lot more to say than I realized. Thought, oh, this is going to be pretty cut and dry, but there's a lot to talk about. Okay. So So I'm seeing this huge agreement. Like a huge scroll, and it represents the whole collective agreement. Part of it just broke off and fell down into the center of the earth. So it's crumbling. It's crumbled to the point half of it's just broke off and is being recycled into the center of the earth. The other half is for those that are still holding on to this agreement. And I don't know if everyone, is ready to completely let go of this old paradigm and these old agreements. So I'm leaving something in some instances. I'm leaving something for some of those people if they want to, if they still want to do the job thing, they can do that. I don't want to completely dissolve everything for everyone, but for those of us that are wanting more freedom, these videos are definitely worth, will be helpful, I hope. Suns, all right. So I'm going to do another huge clearing on all the old programs. I'm just going to do one big clearing for all these old programs and agreements around being a slave to the work matrix on this planet. And I'm seeing the matrix as like this grid. And I'm seeing a big pair of scissors kind of cutting a, it's like a cord cutting, but it's like something that, it's like our attachment to the grid. So now I'm going to bring in some updated information about how to survive on this planet. So the Akashic Records has some information about the new paradigm. So I'm going to bring in information from the new paradigm down for us to process. Because I don't want us to be completely lost. Not that we will be, but it'd be helpful if we had some present time new paradigm information about being on this planet. We still have to survive on the planet. I mean, you know, part of the nature of planet Earth, okay? But it's just with a lot more freedom. So they're bringing information on how to manifest easier with less blocks, and how to manifest things without all the other cumbersome stuff that that we've been dealing with. Much more easier flow. Okay, so my guides are saying that's good for now. I hit this point, the saturation point, where it's time to kind of close up and end the video. All right, so everyone, thanks for joining me. I will be putting up more videos that are very similar to this in nature about agreements we've made, clearing outdated agreements and programs and machinery and implant, all that stuff. We'll do it, work on it as a collective, and I do one-on-one sessions, and you can either email me directly, or I have an Etsy store, Theregulusportal, and I have all kinds of, and I have some specials I'm running on there. Anyway, thank you, everyone, and I hope this was helpful in releasing some of this energy that we're all kind of, dealing with. Bye for now.